Hello, my name is Joanne McIntyre. I live in Portland, Oregon, and I'd like to share the story of my husband's tragic experience with capecitabine and DPD enzyme deficiency. He was diagnosed at the age of 78 with cholangiocarcinoma extrahepatic. It was found early, so his tumor was quite small and was resectable. He had a very good surgery. The pathology report from the surgery showed that he had no metastasis, clean margins, no lymph node involvement. It was really as good as it can get. There were some precancerous cells that were found, and for that, he was treated with capecitabine. There was no mention of any fear of death from capecitabine. The most major side effect that we were coached about was hand-foot syndrome. So we were expecting that it would be a fairly smooth course of chemo. On day 7 of his first round, he started having vomiting and diarrhea. It progressed the next day with some blisters in his mouth and then a body rash that started on his face and progressed down to his torso. That was over the weekend. So on Monday, I called the doctor's office, told them I wanted to be seen. They said, no, not necessary, just use over-the-counter medications. The next day, I took him to the emergency room. They kept him in overnight. They released him with intractable vomiting and diarrhea, sent home with lots of medications to take, none of which helped at all. We went back 2 days later to the emergency room, and at this point, he was neutropenic. So he was admitted into the hospital. The first doctor who saw him suspected, it's in the notes, he didn't tell us this, but it's in the hospital record that he suspected DPD enzyme deficiency. We later learned that the hospital's protocol is to first do the testing and then, depending upon the results of the test, order the VistoGuard. So it was another 3 days later before he was seen by a very experienced oncologist who knew immediately that we needed to have VistoGuard, that this is what he was experiencing, this really terrible side effect. So VistoGuard was ordered. It came 3 days later. So now we are almost 5 days past this 96-hour window of reversal. We were never told about the 96-hour window. We only learned about VistoGuard on that day when the oncologist, the experienced one, discovered what was going on. But we were led to believe that the VistoGuard was going to reverse things. So every day that he was on VistoGuard, we were expecting to see improvement. And it wasn't until the day after he finished his course that he died. And that was the first day that they told us they couldn't save his life. So up to that point, we had no way of knowing that we were going to lose him. His oncologist admits that he died from respiratory arrest caused by hospital-acquired pneumonia. He does not admit that DPD enzyme deficiency was a cause of his death. We know for a fact that several other doctors in the hospital do connect DPD enzyme deficiency because the test was positive. He had a heterozygous 2A deficiency, the most common. So that is my story, and it's terribly tragic, and it was completely preventable. And I hope sharing the story will ultimately lead to changes in the protocols for upfront testing of DPD enzyme deficiency. Thank you.